Lake trout spawn in the lake, not in streams where they can be eaten by predators.
It's like fishing live bait. Look at that fat smallmouth.
Come to the inside of this rainbow trout here, and we're going to make a cut along the back.
Jesus, we should have gassed all of them.
War's changed. Previously on Mad Men.
And in the end, your Nazi bitch queen, Rage After the Storm, as much as you would like to fantasize about her being silenced, packed her bags and ran away like a little bitch.
Sounds a little bit emotionally invested. A little bit pissed off, but luckily it was just him. Nobody else took part in this. It was all just, oh, wait a minute.
It's because of the Rage After Storm thing. We made a video in response to us bullying Rage After Storm. And make no mistake, we bullied the shit after Rage After the Storm. We bullied her off social media. She took herself off that shit. We bullied the fuck out of her.
Have a good one, guys.
Oh boy.
Look. It looks like they're a cult or something. Now, Rage. You knew when you came to Kyrgyzstan that racism is not tolerated. How do you plead? Through your silence, you have admitted your guilt.
Hey now, my fellow Kyrgyzstani. You can't chat away with an attitude like that. What are you doing, Jeff? Now, for those of you just joining, and even for those that have watched part 1, there might be a few questions in your mind. Who the fuck are these people? And what exactly is going on? Well, it's my hope with this series of videos to try to sum it up as best I can. Now, part 1 was the motivation. You don't really need to know exactly who they are. You just need to know the underlying reason for what's about to happen. And if I were to sum that up as best I could, Trout got angry at a girl on the internet and spent the next 6 months waging an online jihad against her. How highly academic of him. Now with part 2, I'm going to start to clear some things up. Trout is a YouTuber that likes to make typically anti-SJW videos. Rage After Storm happened to take a different approach. He was more right-wing than he was. They had a disagreement over race realism, and he lit her up on a live stream. The very next day, he tweeted at a place she wrote for. 3 weeks after that, she left the internet, and people brought up the fact that he was attempting to basically deplatform her. This ended up enraging Trout. He became bitter and pissed off at the people that kept bringing this up, and he began to see Rage After Storm and those that associate with her political ideology, or even those that were sympathetic to her, as an enemy that needed to be destroyed. So how did our little German general decide to go about this? Well, our Trout, he's a strong swimmer. He's going to go right up that fucking stream. He doesn't care. He's going to read all those books. 800-page books? Hand them over. I'm going to learn everything I can. I'm even going to work with academics. Highly intelligent, intellectual YouTubers.
Most well-known and credentialed scientists of this YouTube community.
And we're going to kick the alt-right's ass. So Trout dedicates nearly a month of his time to honing his skill. He's studying biology.
Genetic and...
No, we have fucking not. We have not done a knockout study on nigger dick size.
We have done a knockout study.
No!
He's preparing himself for the final showdown. He's going to release a video that's going to make the alt-right beg for mercy. All those filthy race realists are going to go crying home to mama because Trout is here to drop some knowledge bombs on their ass.
Dude, just talk to my fucking scientist.
Or at least that's what he had hoped was going to happen, which turned out to be the opposite of reality. His very first video wasn't too well received, and almost immediately people began to reply to it. They were looking at some of the finer details of the argument that he presented. One man in particular seemed to catch Trout's ire.
The K-type sexual reproduction strategy is distinctively mammalian.
No, the K-type reproduction strategy is not distinctively mammalian. There are plants, Trout, that are K-type. What the fuck are you talking about?
The male does not remain with the female. The pregnancy is very short with the female.
Brown trouts do not get pregnant. Did you just say the pregnancy is very short?
Happens through the trout swimming upriver to mate. The male does not remain with the female. The pregnancy is very short.
The pregnancy is very short. Crap. brown trouts don't get pregnant.
Along with the Frenchman, there were others that made videos that pissed Trout off. This didn't deter him. Remember, he's on a holy crusade to teach these people a lesson. So he decided he wasn't going to just double down. He wasn't going to triple down. He was quadrupling down on the autism by creating an honest-to-God, literal internet war room to wage jihad against people that were laughing at him. He was already angry enough about Rage After Storm. He was angry enough about the backlash he got from it. But now he's got a fucking Frenchman asking him where the pregnant trout are. He couldn't handle that shit. He couldn't stand being mocked. And so he sets about creating the Academy of Discord. And as you can see, its ranks are filled with only the finest of individuals. Look at these accredited YouTube scientists. Do you see the parentheses? Can you handle that high-level intellect? Oh God, I'm gonna need to huff a few here just to be able to stand shoulder to shoulder with these giants. Oh, fuck yes. Oh, breathe deeply. They're YouTube scientists. So what subjects of study was this Harvard of the internet focusing its attention on? Those are just people of interest. I recognize some of these names. They're getting added on and taken off. I mean, you've got Alt-Hype, you've got Black Pigeon Speaks, David Cedarwood, Red Ice TV, Warren Southern, Millennial Woes. You know, I recognize these names. They all have something in common. I can't quite put my finger on it. But, you know, that's harmless. It's not like they called it targets or something. Like it was some weird internet mafioso hit list that a bunch of autistic internet spurgs compiled together for some weird fucking vendetta. Oh wait, they totally did that. From Waz Lee. Hey dude, could you rename the targets section of the Discord to something like people of interest or something? If this group leaks, which it will because they always do. That's a little bit of irony. Having a section labeled targets isn't a good look. Trout. Okay. Hey bro, I was just wondering, could we possibly rename that list you made from people we want to fucking murder and burn their bodies to like fluffy bunnies or something? I'm just worried if somebody sees that, they're gonna think we're fucking insane. That's some incredible OPSEC in this internet war room. Really locking shit down tight, Trout. Really keeping a fucking leash on things, aren't you, buddy? This is about as well done as your biology video. Okay, I hear you saying. So you've got a Discord full of potentially unstable academic intellectuals and YouTubers with a real fucking hit list for a vendetta. What's the German mafia here gonna do with it? Well, the descent into complete LARPing madness really takes place almost side by side with each video that's released after the first one. You'll see by the ratings that not only do the likes start to decrease, the dislikes overtake them, meaning even Trout's own audience, which was initially on his side, grew so bored with this shit, they just didn't want to watch it anymore. But I'm sure that negative reaction didn't adversely affect these mentally unstable individuals. They can't go too magic missile with this LARPing shit, right? It's not like they created operations like it was World War II or something. Oh, never mind. Yeah, they actually did that. Let's look at some of the 24-hour ops the Brain Trust here came up with. One of the intellectual elites, a chemist by the name of Zabby, came up with Operation Red Mackerel. Goal: to feed the opposition false or useless information of the movements or acts of the allied forces to gain the trust of the opposition and thereby cause information havoc and distress. Execution: the construction of a shadow server where archived or staged conversations and information will be posted. A SOC account controlled by the allied forces will collect evidence on the shadow server and approach the opposition, setting off stage 3, ending in the desired effect: total control of oppositional informational networks. Stage 1, the construction of a shadow server. Over 2 weeks of staged conversations prior to the next media launch. Stage 2, the collection of evidence to be reviewed by proper channels and greenlit for dispersion. Stage 3, the approach of the opposition by insider forces, trying to feed useless information that was cleared in Stage 2, gaining trust. Stage 4, feeding false information to cause minor disturbances, using false information that is too good not to be used, and observing the effect on the opposition media. When cleared by proper channels, advance to Stage 5. Stage 5, feeding information of a high-risk nature, false doxes of allied forces, false nudes, etc. Desired effect. Full control of trusted opposition informational networks. Effective use of counter-espionage tactics to puppet opposition forces. The oppositional informational networks. It's a French guy that streams on YouTube and laughs at people talking about pregnant trouts is being treated like he's the fucking Axis powers in World War II. But how deep does this autism go? How committed to this are they? We'll have Trout explain it. Proposal 1. I am a dissident scientist and would like a conversation. Proposal 2. Set up fake alt-right YouTube channels and have it slam me. Proposal 3. I am a biology student. Proposal 4. I am a biochemist student. This is so fucking retarded. Trout, what the fuck are you doing? I don't even know if I can read this without a deviant art symbol in the background. This is some will you RP with me :3 shit. Young woman, mid-20s, specializing right now in biochemistry at the University of Southampton. Name, Tilly Law. December 30th, 1989 is her birthday. Born in Guildford, hasn't been there since childhood. Parents live in Wickham. Wickham Church of England Primary School, studying biology for 3 years since 2015. Lab assistant from 2010 to 2014. Student travels from 2014 to 2015. Backpacked around the UK. Gotta throw some small details in there, you know, in case that ever comes up in conversation. Hello, Axis forces. I'm a biochemist student named Tilly Law, and I'm defecting from the Allied forces. You can trust me. I backpacked around the UK. You know, now might be as good a time as any just to take a step back and really think about what you're looking at. Look at the reaction they have to somebody laughing at their stupidity or having a different opinion. Look at the detail. They're running operations. Who LARPs like this and doesn't drink bleach immediately afterwards? But if that wasn't autistic enough, they have to take the puppeteering to the next level. Let me introduce you to the convoluted plan. Operation Mincemeat. Now this is some wild shit. Their plan, if I were to sum it up, reading this just ridiculous fucking document, is to leak the idea that Thunderfoot or Sargon are going to make videos. That is the information. They're going to accidentally release this information. And then from there, essentially what they want to have happen is the alt-right reacts and gets angry for some reason. And because the alt-right gets angry, now Thunderfoot and Sargon actually end up making the video. You know, Thunderfoot put up a video talking about being invited into this Discord.
He wanted me to install Discord on my computer, which I'd never heard of before, and it's some sort of group chat type thing, which was getting into quite a bit of an ask at that point, because, you know, now I actually had to do something. Anyway, so I installed Discord on my computer, and it promptly crashed my computer, which means that maybe the only message I've ever sent on Discord is it working yet? And after my computer died and I got it back up again, it was simply, look, I don't have time for this sort of crap.
It's probably a really fucking good idea that you didn't stick around. Because they don't give a shit about you, Thunderfoot. They don't care that you're a scientist. They don't care that you actually do shit in real life. You weren't Thunderfoot the scientist to them. You were Thunderfoot the cudgel. They wanted to use you. They thought they were so fucking smart and you were so goddamn stupid that they could puppeteer you into doing what they wanted. They were going to use your subscriber number to their benefit. They didn't give two fucks about what you thought. That's what Operation Mincemeat is. Are you starting to get a handle on the wild shit going on in this Discord? Here's the public presenting face these people give up. That they're honorable and they're dignified. And that they fight the good fight and they have the moral high ground. And yet they create hit lists. They come up with fake doxes, fake accounts to discredit the other side. And then they seek to use people to their own ends without actually informing them of what the fucking plan is. And that's an opinion you'll see expressed by multiple people. Just like Woz Lee said, it looks bad calling it this. Not it is bad to have this, but it looks bad to call it this. Sandre says the same fucking thing. It was stupid to contact UKIP Trout. Not because I care about Rage After Storm. Fuck that bitch. But because I foresaw this situation as a possibility it's used as ammo. Well, I think the best action is to simply demand evidence. He's not going to be able to deliver. By the way, Jeff Holiday, aren't you a neurology student? With all these intellectual heavyweights, all these YouTube scientists, these internet academics, you figure one of them would have rubbed their brain cells together to come up with a few questions about the morality of what's going on in this morally righteous, anti-race realism crusading server. You won't just have to deal with the alt-right, you'll have to possibly also deal with AIU's scumfucks. These guys have been taking every single fucking opportunity to get at me. I've seen them siding with Sean and Jen, Edgy Sphinx, Christy Winters, and now with the alt-right at large. Whoever currently is trying to come for me, AIU scumfucks follow suit, and also go after those I work with. And be warned, AIU scumfucks are probably the single most vile, reprehensible, and disgusting fucking thing on YouTube. Now they're talking about atheism is unstoppable. Listen to that vitriolic hatred they have for him. The worst thing on YouTube. Now compare that statement to this one. Think we could maybe use that to get Devin to go after Edgy? That would be fun. So on the one hand, they're saying that AIU is the worst fucking thing on the internet. And on the other hand, they want to use him to their own benefit. Just like they wanted to use Thunderfoot. Earlier I showed you the 3 videos and how the dislike ratio had increased as time went on. People became disillusioned with Trout. They didn't want to hear about it anymore. The very last of those videos that he had done ended up getting flagged. Now, multiple people mirrored that video, but it was assumed that the alt-right was behind it. Now, why that is, I can't tell you. Because from what I've seen was them actually enjoying watching his videos. Multiple people loved to pick them apart. If anything, it was a festive mood around them because they liked to laugh at how fucking horrible they were. Nonetheless, Trout and his friends and people that liked his content made all these public statements decrying how terrible it was that video was flagged. That flagging that video is just, it's an awful fucking thing. Fast forward just a little bit, and JF releases a video with audio that was leaked from Trout's server. He's making a video on it, and what do you know? That video gets flagged down. Now, what's the reaction from Trout and his assorted, assembled academics? Well, first you have the public statements. We didn't flag that, but if it did get flagged, good, it should have. It was illegal. Those were leaked audio recordings. You don't have a right to play them for anyone. A bit of a difference from what was being said in the Discord. I told you, for fuck's sake, report that stream. Now follow that up with this. An admission from the admin in Trout's own server that he himself actually flagged the video.
Habib.
Hello. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, let me just lower your audio just a smidge. It's a bit loud. Okay, Habib, you were the admin of that server.
I was an admin since day one, yes. Yeah, something that you called me out on as well. Yeah. And I think since JF in here, I think I better explain myself. And yes, I still stand by flagging your video, JF.
So it goes from, we didn't do it, but we're glad that it happened, to we should totally do it, to yeah, we actually did do that. But I think the example that personally gets me the most about this sort of behavior that repeatedly happens in his internet war room would be in relation to the New York Times reporter. Now, as Trout said, on a live stream, this lady had contacted him and he had invited her into his Discord server.
I mean, one thing that JF brought up, which is like the sleaziest thing that he got out of his espionage, I was contacted 3 days ago by a New York Times journalist. Since he brought this up in a weird fucking way, I might as well address this as well. She was mainly interested, not really as much as in me, as she was into Joan. She wanted to know the people I work with, so I introduced her to her. And I invited her into the server, I gave her own thread, and then I asked all the biologists, chemists, and psychologists, and physicists, and what we not all have already, to write a summary about the work. Then I asked why they do this. Then I asked all the YouTubers in the server to write a summary of what they are and why they do this and that.
Well, that's all well and good. What's the problem with the New York Times? She just wanted to talk to people. Look at them all giving answers. They're just giving some basic background information. She just wants to know about their fight with the alt-right in relation to race realism. And Trout's more than happy to help her. I mean, that's not hypocritical at all. Oh, fucking wait a second. Wait a second. I seem to remember something that happened not that long ago. I think it was in this fucking year, wasn't it? Oh yeah, PewDiePie getting his ass fucked by every mainstream media outlet. Boy, it sure would be funny if the New York Times played a part in that. Oh shit, they fucking did! Well, that doesn't mean anything. It's not like Trout actually made a video where he denounced them doing... Oh fuck, he did do that.
Men testing boundaries in the angriest corners of the internet from that cancerous, repugnant cesspit known as BuzzFeed. YouTube's monsters, PewDiePie and his populist revolt from the New York Times. The articles all have the same undertone to them. YouTube is infested with Nazis, racists and other vile scum, and it is time to strangle YouTube's creators by cutting down on the financial assets available to them.
At least he didn't try to Oh fuck, he did try to boycott them. That's some nice payback, Trout. That's some really fucking great moral grandstanding on your part. So let me see if I get this straight. You want to boycott the New York Times because you think they report unfairly about YouTubers. You go on a fucking tirade about it. PewDiePie retweets you for defending him. And yet, when the opportunity comes to you to use that very weapon that was used against him against somebody you don't like, you invite that slimy fuck into your server to help her. And you can look at this lady's timeline to see exactly what she was talking about around that timetable. Look at the alt-right. Terrible goddamn Nazis. Go look at that article and read it. And then try to plead ignorance with me that you didn't know exactly what she fucking wanted to do. Oh, the New York Times is terrible. Oh, it's coming after PewDiePie. We need to fight the power. So what is it? Do you really have that opinion, Trout, or did you just want to suck his dick to get some fucking subs out of it? Listen to your ass talking to Naked Abe about how you responded to a Vice News reporter in relation to all of this.
Hello, Mr. Colwyn. No, I am not with the alt-right, and I have spoken out against the alt-right. I have decided to come in support of PewDiePie together with the overwhelming majority of the YouTube community because he has been a victim of an injustice. He has been slandered and his reputation dragged through the mud by a big media outlet on the basis of a lie. The actions by the Wall Street Journal have been slanderous and flat-out wrong, and anyone with a basic understanding of ethics should be able to see this for what it is. I also believe that if this course of sleazy actions is allowed to continue unchallenged, it will result in a purge of YouTube by a new media platform, by an old, outdated media, namely the print media. What was done to PewDiePie could have just as well been done to everyone on this platform, and will probably be done to everyone on this platform if the Wall Street Journal is allowed to get away with this.
Oh, we YouTubers are getting branded. We're getting fucked over. It's terrible what the mainstream media is doing. They're not giving us a fair shake. Here, let the fucking New York Times reporter from the same outlet that did this shit to somebody I defended into my Discord server to do it to somebody else. Get fucked. What are you doing? What is this autistic shit? Okay, need to calm down a little bit. Getting a little bit heated. When you're knee-deep in digging through this shit, it's hard not to come away with a bit of a stink. And the spurgery, it's been going for a week now. And it's multiplying and expanding. It's like a fucking forest fire on the internet. It won't stop. And there's so much of it, and I can't keep track of it all. We haven't even scratched the surface of it all yet. There's so much. There's so much retardation going on that this doesn't even begin to cover it. And it's only downhill from here. It is only fucking downhill from here. So tune in for part 3 when we start talking about vibrating nipple clamps. And no, I'm not making that up.